Oh, and then counsel, I didn't ask you if you had needed to speak with the Attorney General's office before we began, but I think we should be able to handle everything on the record.
Yeah, I would like, if I could, have the opportunity to go to a breakout room and discuss the case
That's
with the
fine.
Attorney General.
Okay, well then let me go ahead and send you all to a breakout room. I will send you to breakout room number 15. I'm going to send Miss Rankin with you. And Mr. Frazier. Mr. Frazier, if your client could probably go to another room so that they could speak with you in private, is that possible?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
See, all right, out in the lobby.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I'm the interpreter for Ala Al-Husseini.
Yes. We're not, well, everyone is here, but I'm not quite ready for you yet. So I will put you back in the waiting room and I'll let Ms. Stevenson know you're here. I don't want you to just sit in the breakout room with the defendant.
Okay.
I'll let her know you're here so she can go in the breakout room and then I'll send you to the breakout room, okay?
Thank you so much. Do you think I'll be done by like 10:15, almost an hour from now?
I don't know. I'll let her know you're here and we can try to do the case. I think you may not be because I think it's a hearing. It's not a, I think it's a bond hearing. So I don't know how long that's going to take.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let me let him know I need him to know. Let's see where he is. Oh yeah. Oh, and then also, Mr. Henderson, actually, Mr. Clayton wanted to speak to you, so I'll bring him in so he can speak to you briefly, and then we could put that on the record. All right, Mr. Clayton, I'll send you to a breakout room with Mr. Henderson.
Thank you.
Mr. Henderson, I'm going to send Mr. Clayton to breakout room number 16.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, I don't know where the the defendant literally was just in here, and I don't know what happened to his device. Let's see if it made a mistake, and I don't think it went to a, I didn't send him to a breakout room. He must have disconnected just that quickly. Okay. Oh, maybe this is him on the iPhone. Let's see. Let's get the iPhone back. I think he was on an iPhone.
Okay.
Can the iPhone unmute? State your
Yep.
name for me.
Allah Al-Husseini.
Okay, yes, it's him. All right. Mr. Al-Husseini, start your video. Oh, what? Okay, now the interpreter. What's going on? Mr. Flanagan, what does this calendar say about the moon today?
Right.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Lee is out of the breakout room without a plus sign and walking down the hallway. That's disturbing me. That's disturbing me. And he has on a do-rag. So I'm assuming he didn't speak to anyone in the
No,
breakout.
I didn't speak to anyone. I've been sitting there for like
But
30 minutes.
this was my instruction, sir. I said, please do not leave the breakout room until a lawyer has come in to speak with you. I know that I said that. And I also said,
I don't know how to use the Zoom.
Stationary. You don't have to know how to use Zoom. The instruction said, please remain in the breakout room until a lawyer comes in to speak with you.
Okay, I have an interview, ma'am.
Well, you have court. Let me say this to you. Choose ye this day where you want to go. So, because I'm not going to compete with anything you have. So, sir,
Okay.
you're going to have court and an interview. That's not my issue.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
I don't know what happened to the interpreter.
Oh, there she is.
That means she doesn't have a good signal. This means that there's no good signal. That's what that means. All right, Madam Interpreter,
Yes.
do you have a good signal? You keep going in and out.
I hear you, Your Honor.
Madam Interpreter? Ms. Stevenson, do you want me to go ahead and send your client to the breakout room? I believe someone is assisting him, and then when she comes, okay.
Yes, thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Al Husseini, can you, is someone helping you, sir? Okay, Mr. Al Husseini, unmute. Is someone helping you?
أستاذ الحسيني شيل الكاتم الصوت الميوت.
Madam Interpreter, I need you to have a good signal. Okay, we might not be able to do this today. Because it's too many competing things going on right now. Mr. Al Husseini, I need you to turn on your camera. I'm going to send you all to the breakout room, but I'm not going to compete with a whole bunch of stuff that it appears that I'm competing with today. Mr. Al Husseini, go to the breakout room, sir. Number 8, accept to join. Number 8.
هلأ بيطلع لك join على الغرفة، ادخل عليها أستاذ حسيني.
Okay. Mr. Henderson. All right, I'm going to do, no, Mr. Clayton. Mr. Clayton, I'm going to bring your client in, and then I'll be ready on hold on, what did I do with my docket? That's funny. Have you ever lost something just sitting in one spot? Okay. Oh, there it is. There's my docket. Is it? No, that's tomorrow's docket. All right, I'll find it. Oh, I stapled it. All right. Okay. So I am ready on DeMyers, and then I'm ready on Johnson. And then before you go back to the breakout room, Mr. Henderson, I'm ready on Morris. But let me also see something else. Hold on. Oh, and then and Brown. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. We'll see how we're gonna do it. Okay, let me bring in the parties on DeMyers. Mr. DeMyers, please start your video, sir. Oh no, Mr. DeMyers, you can't, no, Mr. DeMyers.
Yes.
Okay, please remove your hoodie.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. This is case number 234517301, the people of the state of Michigan versus Trevor DeMyers. Defendant is charged with reckless driving and something motor vehicle. I'm not sure, Mr. Henderson, you may need to read that into the record, the count 2. And today is the date set for final pretrial conference.
Good morning, Your Honor. Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029. I believe that charge is unlawful use, motor vehicle unlawful use.
Thank you. And then Ms. Strong, please unmute and state your name.
Caitlin Strong.
Thank you.
And good morning, Your Honor. Spencer Clayton on behalf of Mr. DeMyers, P number 77302.
And Mr. DeMyers, please state your full name for the court.
Trevor DeMyers.
Thank you. Today is the date set for a final pretrial conference. Mr. Clayton, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I believe we're going to ask for a brief adjournment. The reason being, we did receive an offer from the people. It's a offer we would consider, but the people have restitution that they'd like to provide to us, and we would have to agree to that in order for us to reach an agreement. And I do think it's worth setting for another pretrial so we can look at that and see if I should make a recommendation for my client to take that or not.
All right. Then at this time, the court will continue a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. DeMyers. Let's set a final pretrial conference for Mr. Flanagan. What do I look like on Tuesday, February 6th? Is that enough time, Mr. Clayton?
Yes, Judge, it's more than enough.
All right. What do I look like on February 6th, Mr. Flanagan?
26.
That's without the magistrates though, correct?
There's 10 pretrials on there.
At 8:30?
One, two, three at 8:30.
So that means the magistrates still have place for 7. Let's go to Wednesday, February 7th. Mr. DeMyers, can you stabilize your device, please?
Hold on, Rick. I'm having trouble hearing. Hello?
Mr. DeMyers,
Yes.
you may need to come to court in person because I'm not going to hold a hearing like this. So the next court hearing that we have, you may need to come in person or go to your lawyer's office, but I'm not going to hold a hearing like this. I'm not going to. Mr.
Okay.
Flanagan, how many do I have on February 7th?
February 7th. February 7th was
Invest in some earphones, Mr. DeMyers. What did you say, Mr. Flanagan?
February 7th. Looks like you don't have anything on February 7th.
You saying nothing, like 0 cases? We should keep
Yes.
it that way. But at least I know I have a jury trial because there's 4 jury trials scheduled for February 6th. So they should also be showing up on February 7th because one of them is at least going to be on February 7th. All right, let's set the matter for February the 7th. And that's going to be at 9 o'clock. And that's going to be on Zoom if Mr. DeMyers is able to attend properly. And if not, it's going to be in person. Okay, anything further?
Your Honor, since the complaining witness has appeared at this final pretrial, is she excused from appearing at the next final pretrial?
Thank you, Mr. Henderson. Ms. Strong, you have appeared today, ma'am, and therefore your appearance is not required on February 7th. However, as the complaining witness, you may appear all the time. Every time court is scheduled, you can come. But you're not required to appear. And if you don't appear on February 7th, there won't be any penalty, like the case won't get dismissed or anything like that. If you don't appear, however, you should contact the prosecutor's office to see when the next court date is and whether your appearance is required. It is possible that if Mr. DeMyers does not take the offer at the February 7th date, it is possible that I'm going to then set a jury trial date, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, then we're all set. Everyone have a great day, stay safe.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
You too.
Thank you. All right, I'm ready. Ms. Liddell is back. So I'm ready on Johnson. This is case number 224565101, the people of the state of Michigan versus Richard Todd Johnson. Defendant is charged with 1 count of malicious destruction of property. Wait, yes. And today is the date set for a pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Carmen Rankin on behalf of the people requesting permission to practice under Michigan Court Rule 8.120 and under the supervision of Division Chief Robin Liddell.
Permission granted.
Good morning, Your Honor. John Fraser, P37741, appearing on behalf of defendant, who is seated to my right, participating in the Zoom hearing.
And Mr. Johnson, state your name for the court.
Richard Todd Johnson.
All right, thank you. Today is the date set for pretrial conference. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Your Honor, there was a little bit of a discrepancy regarding the amount of restitution. So we were just looking to set a date for a final pretrial conference so we can go ahead and confirm that restitution amount and then proceed from there.
All right, Mr. Frazier, is that your understanding?
That is my understanding. We'd request the court set final pretrial.
Court is going to continue a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Johnson. And apparently, I'm very much available on February the 7th. Does that date work for you, Mr. Frazier?
Yeah, yes, it does.
All right, then the court will set a final pretrial conference for February the 7th at 9:00 a.m. Which particular casino is this? Well, let me ask this question. With respect to the no contact provision, is it asked to this particular casino or is it asked to the all of the Detroit casinos?
Your Honor, for this one, it's for Motor City Casino, and we can just have it apply to all of the Detroit casinos.
All right, so no contact with the casinos, Mr. Johnson. I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Johnson, no contact with the casinos, Detroit casinos, not, you can go to any other casino, but no Detroit casino. All right, anything further?
Nothing further from the people.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, then we're all set. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Henderson, are you ready on the sentencing? Did you get the pre-sentence report on that?
I did not, Your Honor.
Do you want to get it before we go? Mr. Flanagan can send it to you. Okay. So let me have Mr. Flanagan send Mr. Henderson the PSIR instead of, I don't know, whoever sent it might have sent it to Ms. Ritter. And then there was another complaining witness present on Johnson. Let me see if let me have them come up and do Johnson before you go back into the breakout room. Let me just, okay. Let me go in and get Ms. Stevenson and ask her. Can they come out and do Johnson? Hold on. Well, let me ask Mr. Bird because she's in there with the interpreter. I don't want to interrupt them because let me ask Mr. Bird.
Your Honor, we're speaking about Mr. Randall, right? Or Morris?
It's Miss Johnson. I said Mr. Johnson. It's Melvina Johnson. All right, and is the complaining witness for Melvina Johnson? I believe they're in the courtroom. Can they step up to the podium, please? I mean, do I have an officer in it?
Yes, Your Honor, right here.
Oh. All right, this is case number 22447390, the state of Michigan versus Melvina Taiwan, maybe. Johnson. The defendant is charged with 1 count of assault or assault and battery. Today is the date set for pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on, Mr.
Brandon.
Bird. There's a witness in the courtroom. Can you state your name, please?
Linda Grice.
Say your first name again.
Linda.
Linda?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bird.
Yep, sorry to interrupt you, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Melvina Johnson. Ms. Johnson, please state your full name for the record.
Melvina Tawana Johnson.
Thank you. Spell your middle name for me.
Cawana.
Oh, they spelled that wrong. They spelled that wrong. Mr. Flanagan, can you check the file and see whose mistake that is? That doesn't say what she just said. So if it's our mistake, we could correct it. If it's the prosecutor's mistake, they have to correct it. She said Tawana.
Yeah, it's spelled T. Oh, I'm sorry, Judge.
No, go ahead.
It's spelled Tawana on the information and complaint.
Oh, but there's an A on the end of it though, and it's just cut off on the docket.
Yep.
But there's no E. See, if you all didn't have that E in there, then I would have been able to see that. Okay, no problem. Today is the date set for pretrial conference, and the complaining witness is present. Mr. Bird, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we'd like to set this matter for a final pretrial and respectfully ask for discovery.
Court is going to continue a not guilty plea on behalf of Ms. Johnson. Set the matter for final pretrial conference, March the 12th of 2024 at 9:00 a.m. with discovery being submitted by February the 12th. Bond will continue with no contact of any kind with the complaining witness. Ma'am, I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. That's in the courtroom. Tell me your last name again.
Grice.
And that's with a G or B?
A G.
Thank you. Ms. Grice, you have appeared today, therefore you are not required to appear on March the 12th. However, ma'am, you may appear every time there's a court hearing. As the complaining witness, you can come every time. However, you're not required to appear March 12th. Also, as you can see today, we are on Zoom, and anything other than a trial or an evidentiary hearing is usually conducted on Zoom. So if you want to appear in March, you don't have to come in person. You can come on Zoom, but if you want to or need to come in person, that's fine as well. Bond will continue with no contact with the complaining witness. Anything further for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Oh, and Ms. Grice also, if you do not appear on March 12th, you should contact the victim's advocate or prosecutor's office to see what the next court date is and whether your appearance is required. If it's not a trial, then it's most likely your appearance is not required. But if I set the trial date in March, you want to find out when that trial date is, okay?
Okay, March 12th.
So March 12th is the next court date at 9:00, and you can come on person or on Zoom. Do you want my, I'm sorry, go ahead, ma'am.
I said I would come in person.
Okay.
My phone doesn't do well with Zoom. It goes black automatic.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then you are free to come in person. And it looks like I might be in person too, because I'll be in trial, it looks like. So I'll probably actually be in person that day. Okay.
All right.
All right, then we're all set. Everyone have a great day. Stay safe.
So,
Thank you.
And Your Honor, we can handle all the rest of them besides Miller that have a plus to their name.
Yeah, I'm not ready. So you can go back
Okay.
in. Mr.
All right.
Henderson still has to go in to talk to 2 witnesses, and I need to do Mr. Gregory's sentencing. Mr. Henderson, did you give Mr. Flanagan your email address?
He had it. He sent me the pre-sentence report. So
Okay. So let me just let Mr. Gregory know what the holdup is. You can go back in and finish talking to your 2 witnesses, and then I'll do the sentencing when you come out. If you
All right,
don't take a long time. That one might take longer because it's a what you call it. Oh, you know what, Mr. Henderson? Why don't you go ahead and do Brown? Go in and talk to your witness on Brown, and then we could do Brown because Miss Brown is in person.
yes, Your Honor.
And then we can do that. Mr. Gregory, be patient a little longer. Mr. Henderson didn't get the pre-sentence report because Miss Ritter, they sent it to Miss Ritter. So I'm gonna give him a chance to review it, and then I'll be ready for you in a little bit, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm still putting you back in the waiting room though. All right, and don't do nothing on your phone that has anything to do with a game while you're in that waiting room. Okay, just focus on work. You working.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Henderson, you ready on Morris? You're muted.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, well then we can go on Morris. Hold on. Actually, we're gonna go on Brown and then Morris. Okay. Okay, I'm ready. On Brown.
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Oh, yes, Mr. Byrd.
Are these capious matters?
No, Brown is in person and Brown is a pretrial conference. It's the first one on the docket.
Okay.
Did you need to, well, it's just, I believe, so unless Ms. Stevenson sent you a different note, because I don't ever pretend that I know exactly what you all are gonna do, but it's a first time pretrial conference with the complaining witnesses present.
Got you. We could just set this matter. Oh, got you, Your Honor.
Okay, so you can proceed.
I can proceed, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, this is case number 174595801. The people of the state of Michigan versus Tasha Renee Brown. The defendant is charged with 1 count of malicious destruction of property. Today is the date set for a pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029.
And Ms.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on,
Yes.
Mr. That's
Sorry.
okay.
Sorry.
That's all right, Mr. Burt. Miss Leverett, state your name.
Pamela Leverett, the witness.
Just state your name, ma'am.
Pamela Leverett.
Okay, thank you so much. And now Mr. Burt, well, Ms. Stevenson is here. Ms. Stevenson, are you going to do it?
For the record, Your Honor, Janice
Okay.
Stevens appearing on behalf of Tasha Brown.
All right, Mr. Burt, you can go back into the breakout room then. All right. And Ms. Brown, your name.
Tasha Brown.
And what is your middle name, Ms. Brown?
Tasha Renee Brown.
Thank you, ma'am. Today is the date set for pretrial conference. The complaining witness is present. Ms. Stevenson, how are we proceeding?
Continue to plead not guilty, Your Honor. Ask that the matter be set for final pretrial conference and request discovery.
Thank you. Today, the court is going to continue a not guilty plea on behalf of Ms. Brown. I'm going to set a final pretrial conference for March the 12th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. Discovery should be submitted by February the 12th. Bond will continue with no contact with the complaining witness. Ms. Leverett, you have appeared today, excuse me. Therefore, your appearance is not required on March the 12th. However, as the complaining witness, ma'am, you may appear at every scheduled court hearing. It is your right to do so, but you're just not required to appear. If you don't appear on March the 12th, then you should contact the prosecutor's office or the victim's advocate's office to find out what the next court date is and whether your appearance is required. If it's not a trial date, that's the next court date, then most likely your appearance is not required. However, you should just confirm that with the prosecutor's office. Anything further for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing on behalf of Ms. Brown. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, then you're all set. Ms. Brown, have a great day and stay safe. And also, Ms. Leverett, have a great day. Stay safe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Henderson, did you have a lot more in with that with your witness on the bond hearing?
No, Your Honor, we were almost done when you came into our room.
Okay, go ahead and go back, and then I'll take the sentencing, and then I'll take the bond hearing.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Stevenson, is there anything that we could do without Mr. Henderson? Lee, oh, Mr. Lee, he left. He said he had an interview. So Mr. Lee is going to be a KPS.
And I think that would be the only one.
A KPS with a high bond, Mr. Flanagan.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well then if that's the only one, we'll wait for Mr. Henderson to come out of the waiting room. I mean, out of the breakout room.
I'll be right with you. Okay, thanks, Judge.
All right, you're welcome.
Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm not sure if Mr. Hussein is still on Zoom. He had a problem with the internet, so if he's not on.
Miss Gannon, just give me a minute, okay?
Oh, okay.
Mr. Henderson, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your witness didn't come out of the breakout room.
I told him to.
Okay, I'll move him to the main session.
Mr. Henderson, did you see my chat about Cummings?
I don't think I did.
Okay, I'll send it again. Thank you.
If he was in the breakout room, he wouldn't get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. If everyone could please engage their cameras, I'm ready on Al Husseini. If everyone could please engage their cameras.
دور الكاميرا.
Miss Annam, please. I wasn't referring to Mr. Al Husseini. I need it. Okay, I don't like a lot of extra talking on the record. Not you, Mr. Byrd. Mr. Gooden is. All right, then I'm ready on Al Husseini. Miss Annam, can you please raise your hand and state your name?
Good morning, Your Honor. Tanya Ghanem, Arabic qualified interpreter.
All right, and do you swear or affirm that you would translate from English into Arabic and from Arabic into English anything said on the record to the best of your ability according to the law?
I do.
Thank you. Okay. I may not be able to do this hearing. I'm gonna just tell you. So I can't function with background noise. And there appears to be background talking where the interpreter is. So we're going to try our best. I don't know what the issues are, but we may have to reschedule the hearing.
I'm gonna try to be in a quiet place, Your Honor. Sorry.
That's okay. I guess I'm not sure why an interpreter wasn't previously ordered, but
yeah, they called me at the last minute and I'm trying to accommodate the court. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
I don't know who scheduled the hearing, but I wish they didn't order it. So that's okay. We're here. We're going to do our best. Okay. This is case number 234544001. The People versus Alaa, A-L-A-A, Al Husseini. Defendant is charged with assault or assault and battery. And today is the date set, I believe, for a bond hearing.
اليوم المحكمة 2-3-4-5-4-4-0-0-1 ضد علاء الحسيني، واليوم هي المحكمة اعتداء، فكمان بالنسبة للكفالة كمان.
Appearance, please, Mr. Henderson.
Philip Henderson, on behalf of the people, P86029.
أستاذ هندرسون من المحامي تبع الدولة.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I forgot. And Mr. Gooden, state your name. Unmute.
أستاذ Gooden, قول اسمك.
John Gooden.
Thank you.
John Gooden.
And for the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Mr. Al Husseini.
والمحامية السيدة ستيفنز هي محامية سيد حسيني.
Mr. Al Husseini, sir, please tell the judge your full name.
قول اسمك. شيل كاتم الصوت. ميوت.
علاء الحسيني.
علاء الحسيني.
All right, so this was placed on the court's docket for a bond hearing.
يعني كانت محطوطة على المحكمة جلسات للجلسة تبع الكفالة.
Well, let me ask this question. Was this your request, Ms. Stevenson, or was this the people's request?
عم تسأل السيدة ستيفنسون إذا هي طلبت أو إذا المحامي الدولي هو يلي طلب.
This is a people's request, Your Honor.
المحامي الدولي هو يلي طالب بهالشي.
All right, Mr. Henderson, what is the alleged violation?
أستاذ هندرسون شو المشكلة؟
Your Honor, the alleged violation is that Mr. Husseini has violated the no contact provision with regards to the address that's listed in the bond condition, which I would say violates the letter of the bond condition, but I've been made aware by Mr. Gooden that there was some
Pause.
mistake.
Pause.
Yes, sir. Oh,
Okay.
عم بيقول إنه هيدي المخالفة إنه أستاذ حسيني إنه في ممنوع يكون على اتصال، فكان في الكفالة والشروط يلي لازم إنه يطبقها إنه ما يكون يقرب منه.
In Your Honor, I don't know where the mistake was. I won't say that it's a mistake of the court, but apparently the place where the listed address where he can't go is actually a rental property that he owns, and the place where he
وعم بيقول إنه ما بعرف إذا هيدي الغلطة يلي صارت من المحكمة أو لأ، بس هو هيدا المكان يلي هو عم بيكون عايش فيه هو إنه مكان إيجار.
The place that the people believe it should be is actually the home address of Mr. Gooden, is where he should not be allowed to go. With regards to that respect, I believe that I'm subbing for Ms. Ritter, but having spoken to the complaining witness, I believe that's the spirit of the bond orders. He shouldn't go to his house, but he's also, the complaining witness states, he's gone to his house twice since the arraignment.
يعني هن وقت يعني هو بيته الأستاذ جودن، بس هو هيدا البيت للإيجار يلي بوجهه، فإنه مش عارف إذا كان إنه يعني هو لازم يحطوا إنه البيت يلي مكان مطرح ما هو عايش الأستاذ جودن.
So that would be the basis, Your Honor, in brief.
يعني هيدا التلخيص زي حضرة القاضي.
Let me repeat what I think you said.
خليني أعيد شو يلي قلت.
The court's no contact order has the wrong address on it.
يعني العنوان هو غلط يلي محطوط إنه ممنوع يكون على اتصال. نعم.
And the address that should be on the order, Mr. Al-Husseini has gone there twice.
وهذا العنوان يلي راح عليه هو أستاذ حسيني راح عليه مرتين. نعم.
Who owns the property that is on the order?
مين بيمتلك البيت؟ مين بيمتلك البيت؟
I believe that is Mr. Husseini's property.
بعتقد هيدا بيته الأستاذ حسيني.
Ms. Stevenson, is that your understanding of the violation?
هيدا اللي فهمته من المخالفة.
So I believe the substance of the violation is alleged that Mr. Hosseini went to Mr. Gooden's house.
يعني هو الادعاءات اللي قالت عم بيقولوا إنه أستاذ حسيني راح على بيته لأستاذ جودن.
Which Mr. Al-Husseini flatly denies.
وأستاذ حسيني عم يعني بيقول لا ما صار.
Mr. Gooden, raise your right hand for me, please.
أستاذ جودن ارفع إيدك اليمين.
Unmute your device.
شيل كاتم الصوت.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
بتحلف يمين إنه الأقوال بتقولون الحقيقة ولا شيء إلا الحقيقة. نعم.
You may put your hand down if you haven't already done so.
نزل إيدك.
Okay. How do you, is Mr. Al-Husseini your landlord?
No,
أستاذ حسيني هو مالك يعني الشقة تبعك؟ لا.
Okay. Mr. Henderson, go ahead and voir dire your witness with respect to the violation.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gooden, with regards to your house, since these bond conditions have been imposed, have you seen Mr. Husseini?
يعني بالنسبة لبيتك بعد ما انحطت الشروط أنت شفته الأستاذ حسيني. The interpreter didn't hear the answer, Your Honor, from Mr. Goodman.
I didn't either. Mr. Gooden, your answer.
I have, Your Honor.
قال إيه شاف.
And how many times?
كم مرة؟
2 separate times.
مرتين.
Do you remember when the first time was?
تتذكر أي متى كان أول مرة؟
I don't right now. I took photographs, provided them to Miss Ritter. They were the basis for this complaint on both occasions. First time pulled up.
Hold on. Pause.
عم بقول إنه أخذ مرتين صور وعطاهم الصور وفرجاهم. كانوا مرتين مختلفين.
Okay, go.
With regards to the first time, what did you see?
أول مرة شو يلي شفت؟
I saw Mr. Al-Husseini in his white van pull up into my driveway and then back out of it. Took me by surprise, and I was able to catch a photo of him backing out of my driveway.
عم بيقول إنه شاف أستاذ حسين عم بيدخل بالدرايف واي تبعي وأخذت الصورة هو عم بيرجع منه.
Okay. And were you able to see his face on that time?
I was.
وقدرت تشوف وجهه؟ نعم.
And I don't know if you can see with Zoom, but the person that you're saying was in your driveway, do you see them on any of the cameras that are active on Zoom here today?
عم بتشوف الصورة اللي هون يعني بوجهه وقت بتكون على الكاميرا؟
But no, he's not been regularly on here, but I did see him for a second. Yes.
Do you see him now?
إنه شفته
I do.
لمدة ثانية. هلأ شفته؟ نعم.
Okay.
Well, that's not a good question. I apologize, Mr. Henderson. Not that it's not a good question, but the court is going to interject.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the response either.
Hold on. All right, interpreter.
عم القاضي عم بتقول إنه هيدا منه سؤال منيح فمشان هيك إنه رح ترجع القاضي إنه تراجعه والمحامية تبعك عم تقول إنه ما سمعت الجواب.
The response was no.
Thank you.
Mr. Gooden, on your device, how many boxes do you see?
Just 2, ma'am. Your Honor, in my
hold on.
كم علبة بتشوف؟ قال له 3.
All right. Mr. Gooden, swipe left on your device.
بروم على الشمال.
I see Mr. Al-Husseini.
عم شوف أستاذ حسيني.
How many boxes do you now see?
هلأ كم علبة عم بتشوف؟ 6.
All right. And what is Mr. Al-Husseini? Tell me something that identifies him for you.
أعطيني شغلة تعرف عنه.
Glasses, black rim, mustache, short hair.
يعني لابس نظارات، لابس لابس كمان شعر قصير.
Okay. All right, now Mr. Henderson.
Mr. Gooden, I would just ask you, I know this is complicated, but if you hear the interpreter talking, could you just please stop so that we make sure there's not crosstalk?
Do my best.
عم بيقول إذا بيسمع المترجمة عم تحكي إنه وقف لحتى نسمع منيح.
Okay. Your Honor, could the record reflect that he's identified the defendant, please?
بيقول إنه هو عرف عن المدعي عليه.
The record will reflect the identification.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Gooden, can you tell us do you remember when the second time that you saw Mr. Husseini at your house was.
تتذكر تاني
I
مرة وقت شفته
have the
الأستاذ
exact date. I
حسيني؟
could look
You
based on
have to
photos.
wait. So here, hold on. After a question, it's going to come an interpretation. Please pause so that the interpreter can interpret. Ms. Ganem, go ahead.
عمول معروف إنه ما بعد ما بينسأل السؤال بدك تنطر لحتى المترجم يترجم السؤال.
All right, answer.
جاوب.
I don't recall the exact date. I sent the photos with the date to Miss Ritter. I'm sure I could look them up if it's necessary.
ما بتذكر التاريخ بالتحديد بس فيني وقت بعت الصور للسيد ريتا إنه فيني أطلع عليهم وشوف التاريخ بالتحديد.
Okay, can you tell us what you saw?
فيك تقلنا شو اللي شفته؟
Second time, Mr. Al Husseini pulled up, illegally parking the wrong way, right outside of my house here, with his music blaring, door open. He got out, talked to some other people in the street.
Pause.
Your Honor, the interpreter is going to ask him after he said about the music and what else. If you can repeat that part.
Well, interpret up to the music part. He said music blaring and something.
Door open, got out of his Jeep and was in the street talking.
Okay.
Right outside of mine.
عم بيقول إنه أستاذ حسيني صف بطريقة غير نظامية قدام البيت عندي وكمان حاطط الموسيقى بصوت عالي فاتح الباب وطلع من سيارته كان عم بيحكي مع العالم.
Let's go to a breakout room, Miss Stevenson and Mr. Henderson. Everybody else is going to the waiting room for a few minutes, couple of minutes.
Could I have
Mr.
Al Husseini and the interpreter go to a breakout room?
No.
Oh, okay.
هلا رح يروحوا على البريك اوت روم لحتى يحكوا ونحن بننتظرهم.
Let's go to one.
Okay. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Mr. Henderson, I cut out.
Mr. Gooden, are you there? Mr. Gooden? Okay.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Okay, so I had the opportunity to discuss the continuation of this hearing with the attorneys in the breakout room.
صار عندي مجال إني كفي بهالقضية مع المحاميين بالغرفة لوحدنا.
Court is going to do the following.
هل رح يسووه هيدي بالمحكمة.
Well, let me just make a record that the court was having difficulty with this hearing, with proceeding with this hearing on Zoom.
عم تقول إنه المحكمة كان في يعني صعوبة إنه يكفوا بالقضية على طريقة الزوم.
The court did offer to perhaps continue the hearing in person.
رح يكفوا بهيدي القضية شخصيا.
However, we have reached an agreement with respect to how I will proceed instead.
بس صار في اتفاقية كيف بدنا نكفي.
And this is how I am going to proceed.
وهيك رح كفي بالقضية.
Mr. Al-Husseini.
أستاذ الحسيني.
The court has made a few observations.
المحكمة سوت عدة نظريات.
One of the observations is that you appear to be laughing at different parts of this proceeding.
يعني كنت إنه أنت عم تضحك، يعني أنت وعم تكفي بالقضية اليوم كنت عم تضحك تبتسم.
You also appear to be speaking to someone else off camera.
وكمان عم تحكي مع شخص تاني مع الكاميرا.
Both of those things are a no, an absolute no.
يعني هول الشغلتين هن لا تماما لا.
Additionally, I don't know why, if you were at the property as described by Mr. Gooden, I don't know why you were at the property.
يعني حسب ما كان عم بيوصف أستاذ جودن، يعني ما عم بعرف ليش كنت عم بتكون موجود هونيك.
I am going to amend the order to make sure that it says Mr. Gooden's address.
يعني رح أعدل بالطلب وحط عنوان أستاذ جودن.
And it's going to include that you cannot be within 500 feet of Mr. Gooden's address.
ورح حط إنه ممنوع تكون بعد 500 قدم من عنوان أستاذ جودن.
That means if you have some rental property across the street, somebody else has to go over there and deal with the rental property.
يعني إذا كان عندك مكان للإيجار بهيدا هيدا الشارع، حدا ثاني بيروح وبيهتم بهذا الأمور تبعوا البيوت الإيجار.
This is ridiculous. If it is occurring, this is a misdemeanor and there's no reason to violate a no contact provision.
يعني هيدا يعني ممنوع انك تخالف انه الامور يلي عم تعملها المحكمة والنظرية اللي حاطينها.
I don't know what you were laughing at or who you were talking to, but there's nothing funny going on in my courtroom right now.
يعني ما بعرف على شو عم تضحك او مع مين عم تتكلم، بس ما في اي شيء مضحك بالمحكمة عندي هلا.
If I find that you violate the no contact provision after today's date, I am going to revoke your bond.
يعني إذا لقيت إنه سويت أي مخالفة بالنسبة للشروط يلي هلأ حطيتها، يعني رح طبق لك الشروط يلي عليك.
You are going to have to then post a bond and you will be on a GPS monitoring tether.
يعني إذا خالفت هذا الأمر رح تحط لك تدفع المخالفة، وبدها تحط لك مثل ماكينة بإجرك الGPS ليعرفوا وين عم بتروح.
because I am live streaming, I'm not going to place the address on the record. However, Mr. Henderson and Ms. Stevenson, I need you all to agree as to what address needs to go on the court's amended bond order.
لأنه هلأ عم نسوي بث مباشر، فلهذا الأمر مش رح نحط العنوان، بس السيدة ستيفنسون والأستاذ هندرسون رح يحكوا لحتى يحطوا العنوان.
You are to have no contact with Mr. Gooden through any means, in person, on the phone, on social media, any means, no contact.
ممنوع تكون على أي اتصال مع أستاذ جودن، لا بشخصيا ولا حيلا طريقة ممنوع تكون على اتصال فيه.
Anything further?
أي شيء ثاني؟
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
لا ما في أي شيء من محامي الدولة.
I have nothing, but Mr. Al-Husseini does have a question, Your Honor.
أنا ما عندي أي سؤال، بس أستاذ حسيني عنده سؤال.
And I would, and prior to his asking that question, I would ask for an opportunity to confer with Mr. Al-Husseini with the assistance of the interpreter.
وقبل ما يسأل السؤال إنه بطالب إنه تكون إنه كمان مساعدة من المترجمة.
Sir.
Can I ask a question?
Sir Al-Husseini, please don't say anything right now, sir.
عمول معروف ما تقول أي شيء سيد حسين.
بس بدي أقول أني لا ضحكت ما ضحكت ولا ابتسمت ولا عملت شيء.
When Ms. Stevenson said, please don't say anything, you still said something?
السيدة ستيفنسون قالت لك إنه ما تقول أي شيء، ضليتك عم بتقول شيء. Your Honor, how would you like me to proceed? Interpret what he said or no?
No, don't.
Okay,
the record will respect that he did say something.
Okay, إنه قالت لك المحامية إنك ما تسأل أي سؤال.
I'm going to send him to breakout room number 6. I need him to accept to join breakout room number 6.
هلأ راح تحطك بغرفة رقم 6 فبوس نعم accept.
All right, and then Ms. Stevenson, the interpreter was on a schedule, and we've gone over it, but so be brief, as brief as possible.
I will, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I be excused to a breakout room for maybe 10 seconds with Mr. Gooden? I just want to make sure that that address is perfect.
Yes, I'll move Mr. Gooden to number 20. Almost there, Mr. Gregory. Thought I was going to do something that was going to be a little quicker, and it turned out not to be quicker, so I interrupted it.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
We're gonna be right with you as soon as they come back out. Mr. Morris, not quite. Is it any way that you can, like, we can't see the top of your head? What? Okay, we're just gonna go with
You, if you're placing the phone on the table, if you just scoot it a little bit further back, that'll help.
We're just gonna go with it. Just gonna go with it because maybe it's all the way up against the wall, Mr. Gregory. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. That's better. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Henderson said 90 seconds. That's longer than Leave it alone, Mr. Morris. Leave it alone. Just let it sit still. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. All right. Miss Miller, can you sit up for me? And then everybody taking long in the breakout room, longer than they supposed to. But okay, I was gonna try to do Miss Miller right quick, but Miss Stevenson is taking longer than I thought she would in the breakout room. But Miss Miller, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you on screen, and then when she comes, well, I'm gonna leave you here, but you can turn off your camera for now, and then when we're ready, oh, Mr. Berg, can you do Miss Miller or no? Okay,
I'm
don't
sorry,
worry.
I believe Ms. Stevenson gonna have to do that
Okay,
one,
no
yeah.
problem. When we're ready, I'll come back. Okay. I'm ready on Morris. Ooh, I feel like it's 12:43. Do y'all know that? Okay, but it's not. It's not 12:43. Okay, this is case number 194659501, the people of the state of Michigan versus Lorenzo Morris. Oops. Defendant is charged with 1 count of assault or assault and battery. Today is the date set for sentencing. Appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029.
And Your Honor, Austin Gregory, P85193, appearing on behalf of Mr. Morris, standing in for Attorney Webster Cox. Mr. Morris, please unmute, and then will you state that whether I have permission to represent you today for the sentence?
Yes.
Okay, and state your name for the record as well, please.
Lorenzo Morris.
Thank you.
All right, today is the date set for sentencing. I have had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report, and I am ready to proceed. I have one question. Was this a bench trial or jury trial? I remember that it was, I remember the trial, but I don't remember if it was bench or jury.
It was a bench trial, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I remember the trial. Okay. With respect to the pre-sentence report, are there any additions, deletions, or corrections?
Your Honor, there is a correction. The report several times mentions December 2020 dates, and those dates are actually 2019.
Okay.
So
like
then,
on page, I guess it would be 4B, and it says the defendant reported on 12/17/20. That should be 19.
correct.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, also, my client denies that he pled that he has a drug charge from 2003.
Well, it says he pled not guilty and the case was dismissed. So he doesn't have a conviction, but okay, I don't know. Maybe they dismissed it because it wasn't him. I don't know. Okay, but thank you. Mm-hmm.
And it does list, I'm sorry, I'm going to the page, under education, I believe, and in one of the reports, it's one of the reports about him, it says that he had a minor degree, but he has a bachelor's of science from Western Michigan.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, page 5.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I believe that is, and Your Honor, I apologize. The description of the event, the end of the defendant's description, it does not pertain to this case, during his 5th hour class. That's for a separate incident that happened some years ago. It is not in relation to
Okay,
this.
let me interrupt. Ms. Stevenson, is there anything for the record, or can I release the interpreter?
We're all set, Judge, with that case.
All right, then you're all set.
Allow me to let him know.
He's not here.
He's not here. Okay,
No.
thank
He-
you.
he
Sorry
wants to
about the noise earlier, Your Honor. I tried to find a quiet room. So
Oh,
sorry.
okay, no, thank you. I appreciate
Thank
your
you.
attempt.
Thank you. Have a
Okay,
nice day.
well,
Bye.
hold on. Actually, Madam Interpreter, hold on.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
still in the breakout room, though. I'm gonna bring him out. Tell him he can go.
Okay.
I believe my complaining witness stayed in the breakout room again for some reason, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Let me bring him out too. All right. Okay, now, Ms. Ganem, you can let Mr. Al-Husseini know he's all set and he's free to go.
Okay, خلاص now فيك تسكر. شكرا. Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Have a
you're
nice day.
welcome.
Thank you,
Bye.
Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Gooden, you're all set. Sir, you're free to go.
Thank you, ma'am. Enjoy your day.
All right, thank you. Okay, and then, Mr. Gregory, were those all of your additions, deletions, or corrections?
That was, Your Honor.
And then, I'm sorry, Mr. Henderson, did you have any?
No, Your Honor, none from the people.
All right. And then with respect to sentencing, is there anything on behalf of the people? I will note for the record that every person in the waiting room has been identified, and the complaining witness is not one of the people in the waiting room. Is there anything?
No, we reviewed I reviewed the pre-sentence investigation and the terms that are laid out there, I think are appropriate.
All right, Mr. Gregory.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Morris does understand a little bit differently now what can be interpreted as assault and battery. He wishes that that those events went differently. He does receive disability, Your Honor, currently, and he also receives or he also has a medical marijuana card now. So there are a couple terms here that I would ask the court to consider. I guess differently. One is the requirement of community service, and the other is there was a recommendation that no marijuana be used. I would ask for that. He also would ask for fewer or a shorter requirement for the anger management class, but we would leave that at the court's discretion.
Okay, and would Mr. Morris like to make a statement on his own behalf?
Yes, I'd just like to state that, well, I don't know if Officer Shane's there or not or whatever. I'd like to apologize for her bringing her into this or whatever, because it wasn't, my actions weren't directed toward her. So I'd like to apologize to her for bringing her into this. And I'd like to apologize for the antics in the court that I don't know if it seems that I was out of control possibly. And I'd like to apologize to you because I have so much respect for you in the courtroom that I did ask for a bench trial. And I do have a lot of respect for you, and I wouldn't want to disrespect you because, well, I asked for the bench trial and everything, and I had that much confidence in you as a judge that we would come to the right, well, the decision in my favor. So I would just like to apologize to you and the court for my actions.
Okay, and the court accepts your apology, and I'm sure Mr. Henderson will perhaps relay the apology to Officer Shane, who is not present today.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm ready to impose sentence, and I'm gonna say, I mean, I think I said a lot when I gave my judgment. I think I said a lot. If my memory serves me correctly, and if I did what I normally would do, I'm sure I said a lot, because the way I interpret the court rule is that when giving your verdict at a bench trial, the court is to give its findings of fact. And so I'm sure I said a lot, and I appreciate your apology, because I don't know if I would call them antics, but all I know is that you tried to convince me that I wasn't seeing what I saw on that video, and I just thought that was a little strange. And then even what you said occurred on the video. You know, I don't fashion myself any type of technology expert, not even a technology, you know, I mean, I'm probably low down on the totem pole when it comes to technology, but I know that the video, even if they had altered the video, it couldn't be altered in what you said. Like, it didn't, the way that you were trying to tell me that it was going down. Okay. So nonetheless, additionally, you know, my children are grown. They are grown. They are adult children. And if I had ever gone up to the school while my children were in K through 12 and observed the buffoonery that I saw on that videotape between school administrators, I would have immediately removed my child from that school. I would have had zero confidence that the school was able to educate my child and keep my child safe. Because how can the school keep my child safe when they in there fighting themselves? I mean, literally fighting and arguing and I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. I would have immediately, I mean, immediately, like when I went to the school, I would have gone into my children's classrooms and said, gather your belongings, because you no longer go here. That's ridiculous. Your behavior was ridiculous. And the principal's behavior was ridiculous. Because number one, I'm not going to argue with my employee. I would have put you out the building right away. As soon as you said something back to me, I would have put you out. I would have said, get your stuff and go. Because I am in charge. I'm the principal. I'm not going to argue with you, but he did. He argued with you. And that to me was interesting. I'm not going to argue with you. This is a place of learning. This is a place where the children are looking to us for guidance and direction. This is a place where if you disagree with me, then you disagree with me in the appropriate manner, but I am the principal. And I would have had you escorted out the building immediately. I would not have argued with you, Mr. Morris. Your behavior that day at the school was ridiculous, and some of your behavior in the court was ridiculous also. But we're going to move on, and I hope you can move past it. I am going to alter a couple of things that was recommended by probation. I am going to alter a couple of things. And so we'll get to that. As I get to it, I'll say what I'm going to alter. But I am going to accept the recommendation for the 15-month probationary period. However, of course, that means that he is eligible for early discharge after 7.5 months. So if he serves his 7.5 months and he completes all the terms and conditions, then he would be eligible for early discharge and he would not have to serve the 15 months. So 15 months, this is December 2023. 12 months would be December 2024. 13, 14, 15 would put us in March 2025. So we're going to go with March 11th of 2025 for the final 15-month review date. And then I am going to give a review date. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to give a 4-month review date for April the 30th, 2024 at 10:00 a.m. And then if it appears that Mr. Morris is on track for the early discharge at the halfway point, then I'll give him a date where he can come and be discharged at that halfway point. The court is going to impose the following terms and conditions of the probation. You shall not violate any criminal law of any governmental unit. That means no new cases after today's date. Any case that may have come about prior to today's date does not violate your probation, but after today's date, no new cases. You shall not leave the state of Michigan without consent of this court. Yes, that means you cannot go on vacation if it leaves the state of Michigan without consent from this court. You must notify probation immediately of any change of your address, phone number, or employment status. You shall report to probation on a monthly basis, and you shall pay the following fines, costs, and fees. The court is going to impose the mandatory cost of $210. Mr. Gregory, you said two things that are kind of counter to each other. You asked me to reduce the number of weeks for anger management. You didn't ask me about the community service. You didn't say he couldn't do community service, did you?
I did ask that the community service be reduced because he does have a disability.
When did he get it? Because on that video, he wasn't moving slow. He wasn't doing anything. On that video, he was moving fast across that room, all up into people's face, taking them around. And listen, so this is what I'm going to do. I don't know what his disability is, and I don't know when he got the disability, but I am going to do my order. And then if he can provide some type of proof of his disability and the restrictions that go along with that disability, then I will consider amending some conditions. But he didn't appear to be limited in any way, shape, or form on the video that I saw. But I said that because you also told me he's on disability, and so the court would offer for remaining fines and costs to be converted to community service. But if he can't do the community service, what I'm also going to do is just enter the order for the fines, costs, and fees. And then if he wants to convert it to something else, if he can't pay it at that first review hearing, then of course we can revisit it. It can be revisited in terms of his ability to pay and his ability to do community service. Now, let me be clear. Let's not pretend like we can't do community service and workforce, because probation is the alternative to jail. And then jail is the alternative to probation. So if we try to pretend like we can't do nothing, that we are quadriplegic, then we're going to go to jail, because it's no requirements to sit in the cell. Okay. So these are alternatives to having to go to jail. We're going to do it. Now, if he has a legitimate limitation, the court will entertain a legitimate limitation. I will entertain a legitimate limitation. So the court is going to impose a $500 fine. I don't know that there was any restitution, Mr. Henderson. It says none. I don't think she was injured, or I don't think she even had to go to the hospital or anything, because it was kind of just a hitting and I think a pushing and or something like that.
That's correct, Your Honor. There's no restitution in this case.
Court sets restitution at 0. This is a reporting probation, and therefore I am going to impose oversight fees, but I will reduce them based upon counsel's indication that Mr. Morris is on disability. I'm going to reduce the oversight fees to $20 a month for 15 months. That's a total of $300. And then the court is going to impose a $50 pre-sentence investigation fee. So the total fines, cost, and fees at this point is 1,060. Oh, hold on. Am I going to order drug testing? I'm not going to order it at this time. So $1,060. And of course, as I said, we can revisit adjusting that at the first review if it's necessary. You shall not use or possess any illegal substance. You shall not use or possess any marijuana without a valid medical marijuana card. You shall not use or possess any opiates without a valid prescription and letter of explanation from the doctor. You shall not drive without a valid driver's license. According to the report, your license is restricted with the 625G restriction. You shall not use or possess any handguns or other weapons. You shall, let's see what they. I am going to order the mental health evaluation. You shall attend. Now I'm going to reduce the anger management from 30 weeks down to 20 weeks. And the only reason I'm doing it is because he must do it at eVay. And Mr. Rice is the anger management whisperer. And I think he can do what he needs to do in 20 weeks. And in fact, if Mr. Rice recommends an even earlier release, I will honor that because I completely trust Mr. Rice and his assessment. But I'm going to reduce it to 20 weeks. And then if recommended by Rice, an earlier release from the anger management. All right, but it has to come from Mr. Rice. And then at this time, I'm going to hold in abeyance the 10 days of community service, but I'll revisit it depending on how Mr. Morris is doing with the overall probation. Let me look at something because they recommended outpatient treatment and I need to see something. Let's see. Oh, hold on. I missed this. Let's go back. We're going back. We're going back. Oh, we're going back. We're going back. I didn't even see this. I must have stopped reading too early. Okay. I'm looking on page 6. On October the 20th of 2023, the probation department reports that Mr. Morris left the probation department abruptly without authorization and reported that he was not testing. Let me tell you something. You can be in charge or I can be in charge, but we're both not going to be in charge. So you can be in charge or I could be in charge. And if you're going to be in charge, you're going to be in charge from the Wayne County Jail. So now that I have read that, I am going to order that he randomly test up through his first review.
Okay. Understood, Your Honor. Okay. I just wanted to provide a little bit of explanation, which was
explain your client's again angry outburst because he needs
on that day he had another court case and he was extremely worried about being capious in that other court. So he handled it in a manner that we discussed is not the appropriate way to handle it, but he has been made aware that he needs to approach the time frame differently instead of
because why would he say I'm not testing? Why wouldn't he say, excuse me, I have another court date, another court, so can I come back after I finish court? That's all you have to do. Listen, we're grown people and you grown, Mr. Morris. You're grown, like you real grown. Like we're in the same category. So all of this childish behavior, it's going to stop or you're going to go to jail. I'm going to just let you know right now, I'm a straight shooter. This childish behavior, it's going to stop or you're going to go to jail. So now he's going to test for at least up until April. So I'm going to add $40 testing fee to his fines and costs. That takes his total up to $1,100. And you can leave again and say you're not going to test and you're going to go to jail. And then I'm going to ask the sheriff to test you over there. I'm still not going to order the drug test. I mean, the outpatient treatment. I'm not going to order that. Nor am I going to restrict his consumption of alcohol. He can consume alcohol unless I decide that he has a serious problem. And then we're going to do something else. Okay, you have to pay any outstanding tickets that you have with 36th District Court. According to this report, you don't have any. And if you have any outstanding warrants, you also have to clear them up during the course of the probation. In addition to the 20 weeks of anger management, I am going to also order the Choices program. We're going to mail a copy of this order to the Pasadena street address. And then I'm going to see Mr. Morris back on April 30th. Additionally, probation is going to contact Mr. Morris at the phone number that ends in 2599. Anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Morris. Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry,
I just-
Mr. Gregory. Did you want your client to speak? Oh,
I'll allow it.
okay. Mr. Morris, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I did come to grips with everything, and I went over and I did get tested over at ATS. And
okay. Well, I don't know who sent you to ATS, but what I will say is that it is the order of the chief judge that unless some approval is granted, I think by a supervisor, you have to test at 36th District Court. So they sent you to ATS. I don't know why, but I want the record to reflect that I didn't order any testing at ATS. The chief judge has ordered that the testing take place at 36th District Court unless it's approved, and I didn't approve that. But you're good. They didn't tell me what the results were, but we'll see how that plays out. But it doesn't count towards the 4 tests. Oh, and that's once a month, Mr. Flanagan, once a month for 4 months.
Okay.
All right. So we're all set. Everybody have a great day. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone have a wonderful day as well.
All right. Thank you. Miss Miller, come on. You can come on screen. Miss Stevenson. All right. I'm ready on Anita Miller. This is case number 214492901. The People versus Anita Miller. Defendant is charged with assault or assault and battery. Today is the date set for final pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029.
Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Ms. Anita Miller. Ms. Miller, ma'am, please tell the judge your full name.
Anita J. Zine Miller.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Today is the day set for final pretrial conference. I understand that Ms. Miller was sick or something at had her last scheduled hearing. So I hope you're feeling better. With respect to this, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Ms. Miller and I have had the opportunity to discuss this matter. She's had the opportunity to review with me an advice of rights form, and it is my understanding that at this time, Ms. Miller wishes to waive her rights incident of trial and offer the court a plea of guilty to 1 count of assault and battery. It's our hope that that plea would be taken pursuant to MCLA 771.1.
Ms. Miller, is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right. I need Reddick to get stationary, seated in upright position, get in some light, and be ready to attend court. Okay. So before I take Ms. Miller's plea, are we ready to proceed on the arraignment for Mr. Reddick?
Yes.
I'm talking to the lawyers. Okay. All right. So then this is case number 234555601. The People of the State of Michigan versus Justin Reddick. Defendant is charged with malicious destruction of property. Today is the date set for an arraignment. Appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Justin Reddick. My client waives his right to the formal reading, was advised his constitutional rights, and will stand mute. And please unmute yourself and state your full name for the record, Mr. Reddick.
Justin Reddick.
All right, the court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Reddick, set the matter for a pretrial conference. Mr. Flanagan, how am I on January 31st?
'24.
Court is going to set a pretrial conference for January 24th, 2024 at 8:25. As to bond.
As to bond, Your Honor, my client indicates to us that he is a 30-year-old lifelong resident, 7 children. Your Honor, he's here on his own volition today. Respectfully, we're asking this court for a personal bond and to schedule this for a matter for a for a pretrial.
Any response from the people with respect to bond?
Your Honor, we would ask for a bond with 10% instead of a personal bond, but it's at the discretion of the court.
Court is going to set bond in the amount of $2,000 personal bond, no contact of any kind with the complaining witness. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Reddick, you're all set until January 24th, 2024 at 8:25, sir. Have a great day. Stay safe. Happy holidays to you.
You too.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Miller, I'm going to share my screen, and on my screen, you're going to see an advice of rights form. My question to you, Ms. Miller, is have you had an opportunity to review for yourself or to go over with your lawyer your constitutional rights?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
And when you did that, did you understand your constitutional rights? Did you answer? I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor, I did understand my constitutional rights.
Ma'am, do you understand that this is a misdemeanor and therefore you have a right to a trial? However, if you enter a plea today, you are giving up your right to a trial as stated in number 6. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Has anyone threatened you in any way or promised you anything that was not placed on the record today to get you to enter into a plea today?
Your Honor, no one did.
All right. And ma'am, are you currently, why is that on my screen? On probation or parole?
No, Your Honor, I'm not.
And finally, drawing your attention to number 11, it indicates that you can take an appeal within 21 days of the date of your sentencing. Do you understand that if I accept this voluntary plea, that you may be giving up your right to an automatic appeal? And if you were to change your mind about the plea, you would either have to request permission of the circuit court to appeal or request permission of this court to set aside the plea. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
And with that understanding, Ms. Miller, do you still want to enter into this voluntary plea today?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you may put your hand down. Ms. Stevenson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Miller, on July 14th of 2021, were you present at 520 East Warren Avenue in the city of Detroit?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Thank you. And were you there in the company of Lenoa Tran?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Okay, and did you push Ms. Tran in the face without her permission?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
With that, Your Honor, defense is satisfied.
Are the people satisfied?
We are, Your Honor.
The court is satisfied. I would accept a guilty plea to 1 count of assault or assault and battery. Having accepted the guilty plea, the court is going to set the matter for sentencing. Mr. Flanagan, what do I look like on January 18th?
$22.
I'm assuming that's with the magistrates because they're into February.
Yes, there's 5 at 8:30.
Then I'm going to set the matter for January 22nd at 9 o'clock. Ms. Miller, you have a right to be sentenced in person, but you also may consent to being sentenced on Zoom. Which do you prefer, Ms. Miller?
Zoom, Your Honor.
Court is going to set the matter for January 22nd at 9 o'clock a.m. Well, let me ask this question. Are the people or defense requesting a well, you asking for a delayed sentence, aren't you?
I am.
I'm going to send the matter for pre-sentence investigation. All right, Ms. Miller, the probation is going to contact you. Please respond to their letter or their phone call so that they can conduct a pre-sentence investigation, so I can determine if I'm going to sentence you to the delayed sentence. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I will.
Thank you. Then we're all set unless there's something else for the record.
No,
Your
Your
Honor.
Nothing, nothing on behalf of Ms. Miller. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Miller, have a great day. Stay safe. Happy holidays to you.
You too. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Ready on Abbott? This is case number 164533602. The people of the state of Michigan versus Denisha Larea Abbott. Defendant is charged with assault or assault and battery. Today is the date set for pretrial conference appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Denisha Abbott. Ms. Abbott, please state your full name for the record.
Denisha Larea Abbott.
Thank you. Today is the day set for pretrial conference. I do have a question, Mr. Flanagan. What's the status of 01?
Sorry, Your Honor. 01?
Defendant 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Closed.
Closed. Okay. Closed and not dismissed.
Oh, actually, yes. Judge Archer dismissed it on February 18, 2017. Complaining witness failed to appear.
Okay. Today is the day set for pretrial. Mr. Bird, how are we proceeding?
Respectfully, Your Honor, we're requesting this court for dismissal due to no complaining witness.
Mr. Henderson.
Your Honor, we would ask for an adjournment for the complaining witness to be able to appear in this case.
Today is the day set for pretrial conference. Notwithstanding the fact that it appears that the complaining witness didn't show up in 2017 on the other case, I am going to give the people an opportunity to locate and notify the complaining witness of the obligation that they appear before the court. I will set up a pretrial conference for January the How many do I have on the 10th, Mr. Flanagan?
$21.
Thank you. All right, we have 22 now. Court is going to set the matter for January 10th, 2024 at 8:36. The complaining witness is required to appear. Failure of the complaining witness to appear will most likely result in this, in this matter being dismissed unless the people have a valid explanation as to why the complaining witness could not appear or should not be required to appear. Bond will continue. with no contact with the complaining witness. Anything further for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Abbott, you're all set, ma'am, until January 10th. Have a great day. Stay safe. Happy holidays.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Mr. Al-Masari? Mr. Al-Masari, okay. This is case number 194496301, the People versus Abraham. On the docket, it says Mosa. Mr. Al-Masari, can you get stationary? Seated in an upright position? Ready to attend court? All right. Mr. Flanagan, did you send me this?
Not for him.
Okay, don't worry, no worry. Well, pull it up for me though, but you don't have to send it. And today is a day set for an arraignment on a bench warrant. The charge is assault or assault and battery. Appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029.
And yes, Your Honor, Brandon Bird on behalf of Abraham Al-Masari. Mr. Al-Masari, please unmute yourself and state your full name for the record.
My name is Abraham Al-Masari.
And what's your middle name?
Mossad.
Okay, thank you. That's okay. Mr. Flanagan, what is this? Is this a capias?
Yes, Your Honor. He capias on January 21st, 2020.
From what?
Pre-trial.
Thank you. Mr. Bird, as to the arraignment on the bench warrant.
As to the arraignment on the bench warrant, Your Honor, my client actually paid that $1,000. He wants this court to know that he didn't receive the court date. And he tried to call down to the court and see what was going on, but they had the wrong birthday for him. And I guess they couldn't find him by name, so he had to find the case number. And by the time he found the case number and was able to contact the court about it to find out about the court date, he found out that he had a warrant on him. But he
When
is
you
here
say
on
he
it.
paid the $1,000, what do you mean? His bond was $1,000?
Yep, his bond was $1,000. So.
All right. But Mr. Flanagan, I'm sure that was forfeited. He paid that in 2020, Mr. Bird?
Let me if we could just have Mr. Al-Masari just speak for one moment, Your Honor, to help clarify.
Yes, no, they gave me a personal bond back in 2020, and then I went to the court day. I pleaded not guilty, and then they said they sent me out of court day. I didn't receive it. I called back, but then Corona happened. But recently, on October 30th, about a month and a half
You
ago,
paid
I paid it
$1,000?
because they said I had a warrant for my arrest. So I
Okay,
want to
Mr.
clear this up.
Flanagan, do you have that he paid $1,000?
Yes, Your Honor, on October 31st, 2023.
Oh, okay. All right. Court will enter a not guilty. Please set the matter for pretrial conference January 10th at 8:36.
8:36. Okay.
Yes,
Thank you, Your Honor.
on Zoom. If the complaining witness does not appear and if the case gets dismissed. So the complaining witness is required to appear. Failure to appear will most likely result in the matter being dismissed unless the people have a valid explanation as to why the complaining witness could not appear or should not be required to appear. Bond will continue, but Mr. Al-Masari, if the case gets dismissed on January 10th, make sure you remind your lawyers that you posted that bond so that we can then make sure that the bond gets refunded to you immediately.
I appreciate it, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. All right, have a great day. Stay safe. Happy holidays.
Same to you. God bless. Bye-bye.
All right, I'm ready on Boyer. All right, I'm ready on Boyer. This is case number 10. Okay, 10. 5694701. The people versus Tiffany Boyer. Defendant is charged with assault or assault and battery. This says it's on the court's docket for a pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029.
And yes, Your Honor, Brandon Bird on behalf of Tiffany Boyer. Ms. Boyer, please state your full name for the record.
Tiffany Boyer.
Mr. Flanagan, is this correctly on the court's docket for pretrial?
Yes, Your Honor. She was arraigned October 24th, 2023.
For the first time?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Bird, how are we proceeding?
We're respectfully requesting this court for dismissal due to the lack of a complaining witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Henderson?
Your Honor, due to the age of the case, I do not have a case file, nor do I have the information of the complaining witness. So I don't have anything to give to the court to argue against the dismissal. It is
well, let me ask this question. Because that's what the case is old. And then, so let me ask this question. If the court gave you an opportunity, as I do in the other cases, to try to locate the complaining witness and notify them to come to court, you're indicating to the court that you wouldn't be able to do that because you don't have a file or any information about the complaining witness?
I don't have any information, Your Honor.
All right. Now, do you know why you don't have the file? What I mean is, at 36 District Court, we have, for some cases, they'll destroy the file after so long. Is the file lost, missing, or destroyed, or you don't know?
To be honest with you, Your Honor, I don't know. We do have in our office, we do have a way that we can get old cases scanned in to our system, but I've never seen a misdemeanor this old that we were able to get scanned in. Okay. Frankly, I've seen felonies that were this old that we haven't been able to get scanned in.
Okay. All right. Well, today is a day set for the pretrial, and due to the age of the case and the information from the people, I am going to grant defense counsel's motion, even though this appears to be a first-time pretrial conference. I don't know why it took so long for Ms. Boyer to get arraigned. I am going to go ahead and grant the defense counsel's motion, but it is a dismissal without prejudice, of course. And I guess if they were to find the file and if they were to decide to bring the case, Ms. Boyer, then the way that I'm dismissing it, they would be able to, but it sounds like that's a pretty slim, probably won't happen. But if you did get something in the mail about this case, I would just suggest not to ignore it and to contact the court, okay?
Okay.
All right, so the court is going to dismiss the matter. And Mr. Bird, we do have an address for Ms. Boyer?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Boyer, we will mail you a copy of that order of dismissal for your records, ma'am. Have a great day and stay safe. Happy holidays to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, whoops. Okay, I'm ready on Crutcher. This is case number 23. 4545601, the people of the state of Michigan versus Robin Linnell Crutcher. The defendant is charged with 1 count of assault or assault and battery. Today is the date set for pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Robin Crutcher. Ms. Crutcher, please state your full name for the record.
Robin Linnell Crutcher.
All right, today is the day set for pretrial conference. How are we proceeding?
Respectfully, Your Honor, we're requesting this court for dismissal due to no complaining witness.
Mr. Henderson.
Your Honor, we would ask for an adjournment to allow the complaining witness to appear.
Today is the day set for pretrial conference. It is the first scheduling. Court is going to deny defense counsel's motion for dismissal, grant the people's request for an adjournment, giving them an opportunity to locate and notify the complaining witness of the obligation that they appear before the court. I'm going to set this matter for January 17th. At 8:36. The complaining witness is required to appear. Failure of the complaining witness to appear will most likely result in the matter being dismissed unless the people have a valid explanation as to why they could not appear or should not be required to appear. Bond will continue with no contact with the complaining witness. Anything further with respect to Ms. Crutcher?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Crutcher, you're all set. Have a great day. Stay safe. Happy holidays.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. This is case number 194600601, the people versus Jessica Teresa Cummings. Defendant is charged with 1 count of child abuse, 4th degree, 1 count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Today is the date set for final pretrial conference. Appearances, please.
Philip Henderson on behalf of the people, P86029.
Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Ms. Jessica Cummings. Ms. Cummings, ma'am, please tell the judge your full name.
Jessica Teresa Cummings.
Today is the date set for final pretrial conference. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Ms. Cummings and I have discussed this matter. She has had the opportunity to review with me an advice of rights form, and it is my understanding. Your Honor, could the court, the people, and I please have a sidebar?
Okay, we can go to
Thank
number
you.
1. Go to number 1. Go to number 1.